Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. I'm your host, the Ref, where I keep you up to score and everything sports, hip hop, and hot topics. And we're doing a reaction video today. Universe is much bigger than you think. Do you think we're alone? Home for yes. No for the guess. Do you guys think we're alone? Of all, as big as all the spaces out there, be honest. Do you really think that we're alone? That's the question. That's the question. If you do, home for no, guess for yes. Home for no, guess for yes. So let's get right into this.
Live here on this planet somewhere, and everything that you've ever known is located right here. But just how small exactly is Earth when compared to the scale of the entire universe? Let's start by zooming out to where we can see our nearest cosmic neighbor, the Moon. You may think that the Moon is very close to Earth since it dominates our night skies, but in reality, the Moon isn't.
Well, I always thought that it looks like it is anyway. So I always thought it was.
This close to our planet, it's actually about this far away, 384,400 kilometers away from you right now on average. You could fit 30 entire Earths in between this distance, and if you somehow were able to drive a car at a constant 100 kilometers per hour speed, it would take you about 160 days to drive the entire distance. Despite this incredible distance, however, 12 humans have actually set foot here, representing the furthest away that any individual human has ever been away from the Earth. And one of humanity.
I mean, when you think about it, right? Like, I mean, how do you even know where you're going out there? It's cold and it's dark and dangerous. Cold, dark, and dangerous. I mean, like, who would want to risk it? I mean, with all of that, like, look at that out there. It is pitch black out there. So it would behoove me not to think that, you know, there's not something else out there. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just way too much space. And not to mention, I think we're separated that distance for a reason. So that's just what I think. You know, it ain't no telling what's going on out there.
Humanity's greatest achievements. This is what the Earth would look like from there if you were standing there with them. And if you wanted to communicate with somebody back at home, it would take a message about 2.5 seconds to travel between you and them, since that's how fast the speed of light can travel at. This is a photo that was taken on Mars, and that tiny dot that you see there is Earth as seen from the Martian surface.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI.
On average,
Did you guys see how small the Earth was from Mars? It looked like a speck, man. Man, it looked like a speck. Now, in this photo right here, look at all those specks out there, man. So you mean to tell me that you don't think that there's something else out there? Has to be, man. Has to be. I don't, man, look, it has to be. You know what I mean? I mean, so I don't know. Just use your imagination. Do you guys think that we're alone? I'm going to have to put my point up and say, no, man. I mean, it has to be something out there. Let's go.
Incredible 225 million kilometers away from Earth, but that distance can be as high as 401 million kilometers. That means that whenever humanity finally gets around to landing a human on the planet, that person will be 986 times further away from Earth than the astronauts who landed on the Moon were. In addition, the time delay for sending a message from Mars back to Earth isn't just 2.5 seconds, it's actually more like 20 minutes each direction, which would render instant communication in the event of an emergency impossible. When we zoom out even further away, we can find the Voyager 1 space probe, which is the furthest away man-made object from Earth. It is currently located 138 AUs from the Earth, AU meaning astronomical unit, which is the distance between the Earth and the Sun, which means that Voyager 1 is 138 times further away from us than the Sun is. At some
Man, let me tell you something. I don't even know how that thing is functioning that far out. Like, what's out there? If you're 100 times further away from the Earth than the Sun, what's out there? Like, there's no telling what you're going to run into out there. As a matter of fact, speaking of what you're going to run into out there, how is that thing traveling without running into something? Who's steering the ship? And you guys ever wonder that? You ever think about that? Like, who's steering the ship out there? Of all the things, all of those things that's traveling out in outer space, comets and all type of broken boulders from, stellar crashes and all of that. It has to be all types of stuff flying around out there, not to mention how cold it is. So how the hell is that thing moving that fast without running into something? Blows your mind, right?
point on its long voyage, Voyager 1 turned its camera around and took this photograph. It may not look like much at first, but in my opinion, this is the greatest single photograph ever taken in all of human history. This tiny pale blue dot is Earth, and I don't think that anybody has ever said something as amazing about this as Carl Sagan when he said, "If you look at it, you see a dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever lived out their lives. The aggregate of all our joys and sufferings. Thousands of confident religions."
You know what was crazy in that photo? I didn't see any other dots back there. That is crazy. That's a crazy looking photo right there to realize that we're that little tic tac, man, in all of that space right there. But I didn't see any other specks next to us. It looked like we were back there by ourselves. That's interesting, right? That view that they just showed looked totally different. It's like everything is in front of us. Like we can see things in front of us, but when we looked back at ourselves, it looked like we were the only ones back there. Like we was left behind from everything else. I don't know. I'm just saying. All I saw was one little speck in all of that space right there. Interesting.
Ideologies and economic doctrines. Every hunter and every forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilizations, every king and every peasant, every young couple in love, every hopeful child, every mother and every father, every inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there on a...
Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Look at that speck right there. You don't see any other specks anywhere else, man. You don't see it. Look at that. When we look up in the sky and we look away from us, we see stars everywhere. But looking at that photo right there, it doesn't look like it's anything else back there, man. That little speck is us as big as the space. And look at that, man. I mean, it looked like we were just like a particle, man. Just like a piece of dust. Do I think that we're alone? I don't think that we're alone, man. It has to be something. If we're that small and it's a trillion galaxies out there and a billion Milky Ways, and it got to be something. I don't know. As vast as that space is right there, and we're just that little speck, we can't be the only ones in a habitable zone. We can't be. I mean, I'm just going by logic, man. At this point, that can't be alone. It's amazing. It's amazing. All creation is amazing. Let's go.
Mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Voyager 1 is currently traveling at 17 kilometers every single second, but even at that speed, it won't break out of the reach of our solar system for another 30,000 years. Once we go beyond the solar system, we arrive in our interstellar neighborhood. Here we shift to the light year unit of measurement, which is the...
What is that thing made of that's going to be around for another 30,000 years? Who going to see that? Who that thing going to be? Who's going to be communicating with, in 30, 20,000 years from now? Nobody. Another 30,000 years. Are you kidding me?
Distance that light travels in a full Earth year, or about 9.461 trillion kilometers. The star Proxima Centauri here is the closest other star to us other than our sun, but it's still 4.24 light years away from us. To put that into perspective, if it was heading in the right direction, it would still take Voyager 1 over 70,000 years to reach it. In other words, if you drove your car at 100 kilometers an hour, like in our previous example to the moon, it would take over 6 times longer than the entire age of the universe is just to finally get there, and it wouldn't even...
Sheesh, you want to talk about a long-ass ride. Man. Listen, you be really in the backseat talking about, are we there yet? You be really in the backseat talking about, are we there yet? Because that's a long ass ride. And look at that photo, man. Like, look at all those specks out there. Some larger than others. Like, what's going on in those places, man? Like, what's going on? Well, what's on there? Even though we're never going to be able to reach it, it's a lot going on right there in this photo right here. A lot. Just imagine we were just one of those little specks, and we had everything that we had going on. Just imagine what's going on around here in this whole photo right here. Just in the eyesight of this photo right here is like incredible.
Exists still when you arrived. When we zoom out even further, we can see the entire Milky Way galaxy, inside of which Earth is located right here. This yellow dot is the furthest extent of humanity's radio broadcasts throughout history, which means that any possible aliens who live outside of this range are totally unaware of humanity's presence. It's complete silence outside of this yellow dot as far as we are currently aware, but the entire galaxy spans over 100,000 light years from end to end.
So think of it as like a TV ad with a catalog component where I can choose on the Roku app and immediately it's going to
100,000 light years. Look at that, man. Look at that. What is going on outside here? What is going on right here on the outer parts of this Milky Way? Like, what is going on out there? I mean, it has to be all kinds of things going on. It has to be. Man, that is absolutely incredible. Like, it's mind-boggling. I don't even think our brains can handle the type of things that are going on in this Milky Way outside of this little dot that we call us. Like, it's mind-boggling.
100 billion stars and over 100 billion planets inside of our galaxy. But you have never seen the full glory of the galaxy at night, because 99% of the stars that you can see with the naked eye are limited to this small, tiny region right here. But even this massive galaxy is nothing compared to the rest of what's out there. Zooming out even further, and we arrive at the local group of galaxies, a collection of 54 different galaxies that is about 10 million light years across. But zooming out even further, and we can see the Virgo supercluster, of which the local group here is just a tiny segment of. There are at least 100 other groups of galaxies just like our own local group inside of here, and the distance from one side to the other is a mind-numbing 110 million light years. But even the...
That's just ridiculous. Seriously. That's why I say, like, our mind wouldn't be able to handle some of the things that we could possibly encounter out there in space like that. We wouldn't be able to handle it. Mentally, we wouldn't be able to handle it. I'm sorry. You would probably see something. What if you saw yourself again? Like, what if you saw another person that looks just like you, acting just like you, talking just like you? Like, how would you react? How would you respond to that? What if you saw one of you and he was 15 feet tall? He was just a bigger version of you. He looked just like you, but he was 15 feet tall. Like, it's no telling what's going on out there. But the only thing I can think is that, those things are separated for a reason. There's a reason that they're separated like that. If it was meant to be together, then we would be together. But we're separated like that for a reason. And I got to believe it's for the betterment of everybody if it stayed that way.
Massive Virgo supercluster is nothing but a quiet and tiny lobe of the Great Laniakea supercluster, an enormous structure that is home to our galaxy as well as 100,000 other galaxies. Mm-hmm. The distance from one side to the other is 520 million light years, but from even there we can zoom out all the way to the entire observable universe and see that even the titanic Laniakea supercluster is just a tiny and insignificant part of everything. This is the observable universe, and it contains everything that we know of. It is home to at least 2 trillion different and individual galaxies, which together contain more stars than there are grains of sand on the entire Earth. The distance from Earth to any side of the observable universe is 46.5 billion light years, which means that the entire width is 93 billion light years across. What's perhaps even more interesting, however, is what actually lies beyond the observable universe. Keep in mind that the observable universe is all that we can currently see, and it's entirely possible that the rest of the universe outside of it is vastly larger and more fantastic than we can possibly ever imagine. We simply don't.
Let me tell you something. That right there makes you want to go fix yourself a drink, because I'm telling you right now that I can't. That doesn't even register to me. Like, you're never going to see some of those places ever. You're talking about light years away. Like, what? I don't even know if I had a chance to see it. I don't even know if I would want to see what was going on out there. I mean, seriously. Would you really want to see and really want to know what's going on out there? You may not even like it. It may compromise your very being. That's strange, man. But everybody, I believe that everybody's separated for a reason, or everything is separated for a reason. But that's a lot of space, man. That's a lot of space. Some of us can't even go around the corner and find the store we're looking for. Just imagine going out there. Some people can't walk down the street without getting lost.
Don't know what else is out there because the light from these incredibly distant places has not yet had enough time in the universe's history to reach us yet back on Earth. And the light from some places may never reach us at all. Because some parts of space very far away from Earth are expanding away from us faster than the speed of light, that means that the light from these places will never, in an infinite amount of time, reach Earth. Meaning that even if humanity is eternal and exists forever, there will still be an unknown number of places in the universe that we will never know about or ever see. So, it is very likely that as unbelievably enormous as it seems, the observable universe is just a tiny slice of what we can currently see.
See, I told you. There's some things that we're never going to experience. Never. Nobody is ever going to experience that. Yes, that's wild.
The entire universe. According to the theory of cosmic inflation that was proposed by Dr. Alan Guth, if it is assumed that cosmic inflation began at 10 to the negative 37th of a second after the Big Bang, and with the assumption that the size of the universe before inflation began was equal to its...
See, now you just lost me, because I don't believe in the Big Bang. I'm just being straight up. I don't believe in the Big Bang. That stuff that they just showed us has order. There's creation going on there. That ain't no Big Bang right there. I'm sorry. All of those places like that, a Big Bang created all that. No. That ain't no Big Bang going on. That looks like that looks like construction to me. It looks creative to me. It looks like it has order. There's order there. If it was a Big Bang, it should be a lot more chaos going on, even where we are. And it's not. Not saying it's not a possibility, not saying it's not possible, but a Big Bang putting all that stuff out there like that and in that order and the way things are, I don't believe it.
Age times the speed of light, then this would seem to suggest that at the present day, the entire universe is 150 sextillion times larger than the observable universe. That number for reference looks like this, with this many zeros. Let this number sink in for just a moment. This would be similar to you thinking that the entire observable universe, everything that you could see, was the size of a light bulb, but then realizing that in reality the entire universe is larger than the former planet of Pluto. Imagine a light bulb in the center of Pluto, but we inside the light bulb were totally unaware that Pluto existed outside of it, and that's a similar situation to this. We are all
can you imagine that? You're thinking that the universe was the size of a light bulb, coming to find out it's the size of Pluto. That is insanity. Do I think that we're alone? No. There's something creative going on there.
So unbelievably small, but you shouldn't worry, because all that means is that there is so much left out there for us to discover together.
No, not together, bro. You can count me out. We don't need to be discovering nothing together. I don't want to discover anything together. Like I said, do I think that we're alone? Look at the scoreboard. No. So I don't know what they're trying to discover. I don't know what they want to discover. All I know is that if we can't reach it and it can't reach us, we're separated for a reason. There's no telling what could happen if we came into contact with something that's not supposed to be here, don't want to be here, and or could be just coming here to try to do whatever, and we can't defend ourselves against it. Just in case. We can't assume that everything's going to come here and we're going to be able to have conversation with it and be able to talk. Something, we just can't make that assumption. And when he says we a lot of things we got to discover. No, I'm not French. And you can discover that stuff on your own. Leave it, keep it away from me. I don't have nothing to do with it. And as a matter of fact, don't be giving out our address either. Don't be giving out our address. I know they got a habit of doing that. They sending things out there, giving people coordinates and longitude, latitude, and all of that. No, stop doing that. They're strangers. You don't need to be giving strangers your number. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on. I don't believe in the Big Bang. Okay, there's creative things going on there. I see some order going on out there like that. There's order. So for me, do I think we're alone? No. There's something out there, and you guys let me know in the comments on how you guys feel and what you guys think about this. Did you really know that the universe was this big? I had no clue. I didn't know it was that big. The light bulb to Pluto blows me away. But like I said, in any event, over here at the Scoreboard Keepers, we don't think that we're alone. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who doesn't think that we're alone also. So, guys, until the next episode of the Scoreboard Keepers, I am your host, The Ref. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thumb up the video. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. So until then, score. We are not alone, ladies and gentlemen.